Okay, so I'm here. What we'll first do is we'll first create a new project here, and let's call it Laos. And then we then head up to Tools and Online Search. And on Online Search, we can actually search PubMed Central, IEEE, patents, or archive. So here, we're actually just going to type in Laos, and what we're then going to do is we're then actually going to actually restrict it to kind of the title and the abstract. So the word Laos has to appear in either the title or on the abstract. So we then just hit search, and it's found 1,700 references in PubMed. So we're clicking on OK, and it's showing them actually being, or it shows the title or the references being kind of imported into our search window. And then we have a chance to actually basically look to see whether those are actually the references that are kind of what we actually want. So we're just waiting for that to happen. And for here, we can kind of just basically click on these to read the abstract, and then yes, it looks like kind of what we want. So we now import all of these into the synthesis software. And then what happens is the software will actually check to see whether we already have the reference. So if we would have done this search last year, it would only import the new references. So it's a way of always basically updating the search. So now we then kind of just return to the main synthesis software, and we then can kind of see the titles and the authors. So if we click on one of these, we then at that point can actually see the title, the journal, the authors, the abstract. And then as well, though, what the software will actually do as well is if we have headings, such as basically the background, the methods, the results section, the conclusion section, synthesis will actually highlight those. So when you're actually looking within literature, you can quickly kind of see what does the methods look like. The real power with the synthesis software is actually its search. So if we were to search for, let's say, cancer, we see that there's basically 62 that are actually written about that, and we can tag these rows as well. So we can actually create a new column, and let's call it disease, and we're then going to actually have the word cancer basically thrown in there. If we were to search for a new term, we then can actually do the exact same thing, where we can kind of create a existing column, we can append it, and then we can have it as well. And I saw that there was actually some papers on Zika, so let's do that one as well. And if we're doing that one, we might as well do H1N1. And then we find some papers actually related towards basically that as well. So H1N1. And so it's a really quick way where we can actually start to quantify the literature. And then we can right click, and we can go view chart enhanced, and that will actually show us how we've actually basically quantified things. So if we kind of turn off all the null, and then we kind of go show values and show per percentages, we then have a very fast way for, in fact, how to summarize it. One more way that we can actually do that as well is if we were just to basically search for those cancer, we could kind of actually hit the word cloud, and from a word cloud, we then can look at the titles or the abstracts, and we can basically increase the word frequency so that we can actually get like kind of more of an understanding of, in fact, kind of what types of like kind of words are appearing in the titles or in the abstracts as well. A more advanced way of looking at it is to get the topic clustering. And what the topic clustering will do is it will try to actually see like kind of what are the major themes in the literature. So for here we have cancer and we have traditional medicine, and if we click on that, and then at that point filters in, and then it shows us like kind of only on those ones. One more thing is if we were to as well, let's say we were wanted to search like in like kind of in like kind of a like in a specific journal. And we could kind of just click on one of these, and we can actually basically hit download, and the software will hit out there, and then it will actually try to retrieve the full text. So it takes about 20 seconds a paper, and we're like kind of about 75 to 85% success full in fact actually retrieving these. So it's just trying to basically retrieve it, and then here it's actually saying that it's trying, and then we'll like soon find out whether we were successful or we weren't. What we can as well like kind of do is we can apply like either basically inclusion criteria or exclusion. We can see that the paper was like kind of just downloaded as well, and then as well we could hit the launch external viewer here that would then basically just pull up the full text, and then we can actually highlight kind of words in here, and if we highlight things and we actually save it, what the software will do is it will have the highlighted text, but we can actually go import highlighted text as well, and the software will actually pull in like kind of whatever we felt was important. Talking back around the inclusion exclusion, when you're heading through a literature review, you can kind of say that these are the papers that are kind of important to me or the ones that aren't, and by kind of actually doing this, once you have your list of your included excluded, you can kind of just basically quickly see like how many papers you've included, how many papers you have excluded, and how many papers are actually unknown. If we kind of click on the included papers, if we click on download all papers, what the software will do is it will then try to retrieve the full text of all of those included papers. So that's just one more way that the software just helps you basically save a lot of time. And as you can see, it's just kind of actually starting to retrieve the papers, and then you have essentially an entire repository. And the final point is that once you have the full text, what you can do is, in fact, you can actually search within the full text as well. So that's really where the major power is. So if you were to actually kind of search full text, and if you were just go daddy, it then would actually basically it then would actually kind of search all the full text papers you have in your repository, and then it will even highlight the words that you were actually searching for as well. So it's one way to quickly find what you're looking for. So that's a really quick overview of the synthesis software.